All right, everybody. So you have put together your resume, you put together your cover letter, and you've got that wonderful opportunity now for the job interview, chapter 10, page 355, everybody. I want to walk you through some of the things that you can expect on your job interview. If you've never been on one, this will be a great opportunity to learn what it is that will happen during that job interview. If you have had the opportunity for job interviews in the past, this may be just a little bit of a refresher for you, or it may give you some new ideas on what you can be aware of before you get to that interview. So before the interview, everybody, on page 355, I want you to realize before the interview that you should be doing some research on the company. What is it that this company is all about? What is their mission statement? Do they offer any sort of corporate social responsibility plans? What is it they do for the environment, for the community? Okay, so I want you to make sure that you understand that you need to know about the company in order to be able to potentially work for that company. Okay, so what are their values? What are their goals, their mission statement, that sort of thing? Where are they located? Obviously, you need to know that. So you need to be prepared prior to the interview. Be prepared to also do a little bit of research on nonverbal cues, everybody. In communications, if you haven't taken it with me before, I have said that nonverbal communication, so the nodding of the head, eye contact, slouching of shoulders, that sort of thing, is between 93 and 96% of communication today. It is conveyed nonverbally. So become familiar with some nonverbal cues so that you can pick up on that from the people that are interviewing you, but also of yourself. Okay, make sure that you're sitting upright, that you really are engaged and want to be there. You want to make sure, everybody, please note that you dress for the job. Okay, if you are going for a job interview with a law firm or an accounting firm, you want to make sure that you are dressed the part. If you're going to work for a construction company, okay, it's going to be a little bit different. So make sure that you dress for that job, everybody. Anticipate some of the questions that they may ask you. You know, what are your strengths and weaknesses? What are your hobbies? Okay, what do you like to do in free time? That sort of thing. So anticipate some of the questions that you might be asked, and you can go online, everybody, to our friend Google and just type in common interview questions just to give you an idea of some of the questions that may come to you. Be prepared also to discuss your previous experiences, any problems that you might have encountered, how you handled them. This is really an opportunity for the job interviewers to see how you relate to a crisis, to busyness. Gives them an idea of the type of person that you are. Also, everybody, have some questions that you can ask the employer. Okay, that just shows a level of engagement and shows that you are aware of the company, that you are keen to work there. Okay, and practice, rehearse, everybody. You know, get yourself dressed up, ask, going through some of the questions in your mind. Rehearsal, right? Practice. That is that's key to the interview. Okay. They also go on to talk a little bit about behavioral interview questions and how to prepare for them at the bottom of page 356, top of page 357. You can certainly go through those. So you've rehearsed, you've practiced, you know all about the company, you're ready, you're dressed, you're good for it. Now you're at the interview. What are some of the things that we need to be aware of? I want you to make sure that you arrive a little bit earlier for your interview. So if your interview is scheduled for 11 o'clock, I want you to arrive between 10:45 and 10:50. Okay? Don't leave it to chance that you're going to get there. You're going to be stressed. You could be flushed when you get there if you arrive right on time. Arrive a little bit early. It gives you a chance to compose yourself, take a breath, and be able to function in the interview and shine. Okay. Go alone. And you know, this may sound silly, but I have actually had students in the past who have gone with a friend. Okay. No, You don't want to do that. You want to go alone. Leave your family and friends at home, unless you're somebody who maybe has some physical challenges and you need some help getting there, that's fine. But typically, you want to go to these interviews alone, if at all possible. Bring an extra copy of your resume and cover letter with you. They may ask you questions and you may have to go back to the resume to see exactly what it is they're talking about. Okay, so bring that extra copy with you. Clearly, mind your manners. Like, I can't believe that we have to put that in print, but apparently we do. Make a poised and confident first impression, everybody. It takes 6 seconds in the communication world. Okay, we've been taught this, we know this. 6 seconds for a first impression to be formed. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are on your A game, everybody. Listen carefully, okay, to the interviewer's questions. Don't interrupt. Speak clearly and confidently, everybody. You want to go in there with that level of confidence. Okay, avoid being negative. You want to concentrate. Okay, make intelligent use of your research. These are all things that you want to be aware of and be able to handle at the interview. Don't obsess over the salary or benefits, okay? And don't expect an immediate response, everybody. It could take them some time, especially if they're interviewing more than just yourself for that position, okay? After the interview, common courtesy tells us that you should send a thank you note or a call or an email. Okay, and then if the job comes in and you're successful, you want to make sure that you consider your job options carefully. Okay, do that little bit of research. Don't rush into accepting the offer if you feel that it could be a bad fit. Okay, and that all comes down as well too to research, everybody. So you want to make sure that you are again on your A game. Okay, so by dressing appropriately, making sure that you watch for those nonverbal cues, everybody, it is critical. And I have taught this many years. You would be amazed at what you can pick up just by looking at somebody. So those nonverbal cues will tell you a lot. Okay, so research nonverbal cues, mind your manners, speak clearly and confidently, arrive a little bit early so that you've got an opportunity to just sit down, take a breath, because you will be nervous, okay, going into it. I've never met anybody who hasn't been nervous going into a job interview. And I've been on a few myself, and I still at this point in my life get butterflies. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are poised and confident and ready to just ace that interview. Okay, so some of the things that you need to be aware of for that job interview opportunity. Okay, some follow-up employment messages is talked about on page 358 and 359. Okay, you can certainly take a look at those. And that takes us to the end of chapter 10. So what have we talked about, everybody, here? Just as a little bit of a reminder, we started talking about career goals and objectives and your qualifications. I asked you to take out a piece of paper and a pen and answer the questions that were asked. You know, who are you? What are your values? What are your interests? Okay, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years from now? That is the question that everybody seems to want an answer to, right? Where do you see yourself? Job satisfaction, what's important to you? Do you like to work alone? Do you prefer to work in a group? Your work history, we took a look at that as well. Then we moved on to job hunting, everybody. We talked a little bit about that. Going through the textbook here. I did put you into groups to ask you to network, to get you confident, start talking about yourself. What are some of the things that you are, proud of? What are some of your hobbies? Where do you like to travel? That sort of thing. And the idea of that exercise, again, everybody, was just to make you more comfortable talking about yourself, and that for some people is a bit of a struggle. So we might be working on that. I think we will throughout the semester as well too, and trying to build that confidence level for everybody. I then asked you to go into LinkedIn and create an account in LinkedIn, because a lot of employers today, they will follow you or look you up on social media. So they'll go in, see if you have a LinkedIn profile. They're going to take a look at Facebook, see what kind of person you are when you apply for those jobs. Then we started talking about resumes, everybody, and resume assignment 1 is asking you to put that resume together. So some of the things that we were looking at on resumes and that I want you to include on that is your name and contact information, a career objective, okay, a bit of a profile, your education and your experience, and keeping in mind, everybody, that we're working on that chronological format. So I want you to list your most recent education first, and then from there, you can list your high school if you're recently out of high school, but always do the most relevant or recent first, followed by your work experience with the same thing, most recent first, skills, capabilities, awards, honors, activities, and then your references. And I want this to be no more than 2 pages, everybody. Okay. For some people, it may be 1 page, but definitely no more than 2 pages. And your textbook gives you great content on what those can be and what they look like. Okay, we talked a little bit about that chronological resume, which is what we're doing. And then we got to the cover letters, and this is your opportunity, everybody, to make that first impression on people. You want to make sure that your cover letter has no errors in it, spelling, grammar, that sort of thing. And this is your opportunity to shine, okay? This is what we look at first, is that cover letter, and then we get to the resume. So I gave you some general tips for that. Please make sure that you are aware of that. There's some great examples in the textbook. And then today we rounded it out by talking about job interviews and what you can expect when you get into that interview. So you need to be prepared, do your research, and then get to the job interview, arrive early, dress for the job. You want to be professional, tone down the makeup if the job requires that. Make sure your hair is done right. So things that you need to be aware of, everybody. And that was the end of chapter 10. So I will see you in class on Tuesday, and we will carry on with our conversations. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I will talk to you all soon. Take care.